Hi, Dr. Nitesh. Great to have you here at NAFSA
Yeah.
in Orlando, USA. I wanted to get your perspective on the journey of international universities in Dubai since it's been happening now for more than 20 years. What does that journey look like, and what is the progress that has been made in these last 20 years?
Yeah, sure. No, thanks, Marwan. Yeah, it's great to be here at NAFSA, and we've come back after a long time, and good to have this collaboration between KHDA, TECOM, and DET. I think it's important for the ecosystem. I think our journey, is fascinating. When you look at Dubai and you look at the last 2 decades, especially in higher education, we were one of the first in the world to create the free zones, which of course TECOM manages, but with Knowledge Village and now Knowledge Park and then Academic City. I think the vision was always there to be this education hub, but we've had to go through a journey. We've had to learn, change things along the way, and I think there's some key foundations that brought us to where we are today. So one, I think the establishment of the free zones, this vision that we would import higher education, whether to serve the Emiratis or the expatriates, this was something no one had thought of before. The idea that we would create all the infrastructure, make it easy for campuses to come in, remove barriers to entry. So I think for me, that's the starting point. I think then the establishment of KHDA in 2006, 2007, having this very clear direction that yes, it's good to have these campuses, but if we don't focus on quality, we're never going to be successful as a hub. The creation of a quality assurance system, we brought out legislation around branch campuses. Again, no one in the world had a law dedicated to the operation of branch campuses. This came out in 2011. And since then, we've continued to navigate through the journey of these branch campuses. I remember in the very early days, we would tell the campuses, bring exactly what you have at home. And then we realized, we're missing an opportunity here. When we're getting all these wonderful programs and courses from the US, from UK, from Australia, from India and other parts, why don't they come in and tailor it to our needs as well? It doesn't work as a plug and play. So we became more flexible. We also allowed online education. We allowed customization of programs. So, that's a big part of our evolution. We were one of the first to come out with a rating system for branch campuses. We had the partnership with QS. And the idea there was, how can we provide more information to students so they can make better decisions? So, again, that was a big milestone. I think the work we've done recently as well with the ministry to streamline the regulatory landscape even further. So now everyone's accredited by the ministry. Everyone, gets their degrees recognized. This was a big problem or challenge we had. So I think all these steps that we've taken over the years, and I think, as we look forward now, we're looking at the next 2 decades. How can we be ahead of the curve? And I think some of the things that we're doing now at KHD, and again, in partnership with TECOM, with DET, with other government agencies, we have this new initiative under our strategy called City of Students. We want to be amongst the top 10 student cities in the world. And for the first 2 decades, there was a heavy emphasis on institutions, on quality, on legislation. So perhaps we didn't pay enough attention to the student journey.
Right.
So we're now working on some great initiatives. We've got, some student housing coming, apart from the ones that we already have in Academic City. We're working with the Health Authority on a new medical insurance scheme to standardize insurance benefits and premiums across the sector.
Yeah.
We're working with the Road and Transport Authority on this new student ID, which will bring a broad range of discounts and benefits to students. So this will solve some of the lifestyle problems that we've had. So I think these are some of the initiatives under City of Students, but we also have the research agenda and the research priority. I think the addition of the Dubai Future Foundation has been wonderful for the ecosystem. They're able to bring funding to some of the branch campuses, and they've now had 2 series of grants in the last couple of years, really boosting research and innovation. The work that we're doing together on Helen, the Higher Education Leadership Network, again, is a game changer. It's going to connect industry, academia, and government, create that platform for exchange of ideas and opportunities. I also love the work that we're doing on the Knowledge Assembly together, just showcasing some of the key initiatives that we put together. So I think these are some of the things. And finally, I'd also say I think the work with Study Dubai is critical. In these 2 decades, Dubai did the job for us. Dubai was the magnet. It brought the institutions, it brought the families, it brought the students, the faculty. But now we're able to be more proactive in the way we do that. We're able to take the Study Dubai brand, go to markets in China, Central Asia, India, come here to NAFSA as well, just to see how we can maybe, control the narrative a bit more. We can decide who comes in, who do we want, how do we bring in providers to serve certain niches in the market. We need more institutions in healthcare. We need more in education. We need more in design. So we're able to be a bit more selective about who comes in. And I think, that's a good positioning for Dubai at this stage after 20 years, as we plan for the future. So, yeah.
And what would you tell students
Yeah.
who are looking at this video, who are looking globally as where to study?
Sure.
What are the options available?
Yeah.
And why should they be looking at Dubai?
Yeah, no, great question. We often try to think about what's the value proposition. And I think there's a whole range of factors. I think affordability, we're still cheaper than most Western destinations. I think employability is a massive factor. You have a small higher education system, rapidly growing economy, graduates are getting absorbed. So I think that's a big factor to them. The multiculturalism of Dubai, you have people from all over the world living in Dubai. When you're at an institution in Dubai, you'll probably be with hundreds of other nationalities. There's no other city in the world that offers that. Safety has been a big factor, of course, internal safety, there's no crime, students, females can easily live there. And I think the work that we're now doing on the student lifestyle, better accommodation, better visas, better lifestyle benefits, I think that's going to be another element. But I think the return on investment for students and parents is quite high in Dubai. So yes, you'll go to a good institution, get a foreign degree, get the Dubai experience, and then have a chance to live and work in Dubai after that. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And how about the universities? Why should universities be looking at Dubai?
Yeah.
I mean, we spoke about many things, many elements, but I think there's more room for growth.
Absolutely.
We are both together working on increasing the number of students from today 50,000 to 100,000
Yes. Yeah.
for the coming few years. So how would universities be playing that role?
Yeah, I think the key opportunity for them is that Dubai is not the market. The market is everything around Dubai. Yes, they will serve expatriates and Emiratis that live in Dubai, but they'll also have access to students from the Gulf region, from subcontinent Asia, from Central Asia, from North Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa. So I think that's one of the key things that we can offer institutions is that, you get access to this broad market. I think the ease of doing business in Dubai is also sometimes underestimated. It's very easy to come in and set up, get a license, get a commercial license, lease space. So the business journey is very easy for them as well. I think the new research opportunities through the Future Foundation, that's something to look at. Also, where in the world can you go to a city or a country that has plans up to 2071? So when you're coming in, you know exactly what the government wants. Which areas you can serve. So I think just these factors combined, we're also not a very large ecosystem. We have 75,000 students across Dubai, the bulk of which are in your zones. But there's so much potential to grow this sector even further. There's a huge postgraduate market. All these professionals that come to Dubai to work and live there, they'll need to upskill and reskill. There's the government sector that wants to upskill and reskill. So yeah, there's a lot of headroom yet for Dubai institutions and for new institutions to come in.
Great.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
excellent. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Dr. Nitesh.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. Wonderful.